I've noticed in the news that people have been complaining about the TSA regulations. They've had new machines called full body scanners. They're really clear. They kind of see through everything. Your body, you look kind of naked, but there's no face. So they don't go checking through bags anymore, or having someone go to a private room. People got really nervous and embarrassed that everything's exposed. All airports don't have this new machine, though. They don't, not yet. Most airports are very strict, and they really want to check a lot of things because of recent events. Recently, there was a person who came from Yemen into Chicago. They found one newspaper, and inside the ink it had a bomb. Wow. Now they're more strict because of that experience. Last year in Texas, there was a man who had a bomb strapped to him. So now they really want to check in depth. So if the machine goes off, there is an alarm, and then you have to go for a pat-down. People are even complaining more about the pat-downs. They don't like being kind of touched all over and having people touch them everywhere. Kathy Bossy from North Carolina. She works for U.S. Airways. She's a flight attendant. You know, they go down the aisles and ask, oh, would you like some pop? Would you like some coffee? She doesn't like the machine. She gets worried about women are especially very concerned if they have a prosthesis for their breasts. So one woman had to take hers out and show it. She felt absolutely awful, and she was in shock. Like, why would you do that to me? I just want to go to work. I don't have to keep taking out my prosthesis all the time. Prosthesis is something like a fake breast or a fake arm or a fake leg, all kinds of different things. Someone who maybe had hip surgery, like a hip replacement, or a heart surgery, like a pacemaker. You can't really go that far in depth. I mean, it kind of makes you feel gross. Like, wow. The woman had been using that false prosthesis for about 21 years now. But this experience was the worst one for her, and they felt like she felt like they were groping her everything. I mean, touching everywhere. And that was at the Washington, D.C. airport. 3 million women have breast implants. And all the time, do you really have to take them out and show them all the time? Do you have to feel everybody up like that? I mean, people are so mad. Do they have to take out their prosthesis now and put it in a box to go through security? I mean, that's discrimination. It's really embarrassing. There's another woman from Rhode Island. She recently went through the machine. The alarm went off. She stepped aside. And when she had her pat down, they could feel that she had a breast implant too. Or breast prosthesis, excuse me. And that TSA agent had been moving around the implant. She's like, I would rather put it in the box then. I mean, how uncomfortable. They were very upset. I mean, wow. There's another woman from California. She's 66 years old. She has a pacemaker for her heart. And she flies around for work to different places. And she had a TSA agent feeling her up too, like even putting their hand within her underwear, and she felt extremely embarrassed. They're like, well, if you don't want to do this, then just don't fly somewhere. And she was enraged. Like, well, you don't have to do this. You could just stay home. I mean, it's the same idea as someone with a wheelchair and not being able to use a ramp. Like, does the government have permission to take advantage of us? I mean, we have rights. Being touched up like that is just wrong. And there's another woman from Missouri. She's from Blue Springs, Missouri. And about a year ago, she had a hip replacement. Well, she went through the machine and the alarm went off because of her hip replacement. But she was used to it and she got the pat down. She said, well, she was telling her story last week when she went to fly. She went through the new machine. And they looked around. They never asked for her to have a pat down. She was very happy. She was very relieved for that. But when she arrived in New Orleans to fly back or fly somewhere, I'm not sure about that, the TSA agents there were not trained how to use the machine. And it was worse there. They touched everything. She was so uncomfortable. I mean, it looks like they're taking advantage of you. There's a man who wrote an email saying how he feels like airports are raping him. You go through the machine, the alarm goes off, I have to take off my prosthetic leg, and everything has to be checked and patted down and checked over again. I'm just sick of it. Just stop. There was a man named Thomas Sawyer from Michigan in Detroit. He has a colostomy bag. November 7th, he had flown somewhere for a wedding. Went through the machine, alarm went off, so he went over, got his pat down. For him, it was really embarrassing. The colostomy bag is right underneath of his clothes, and is kept in a zipper and stays against his skin. It ripped a little bit, and pee had spilled all over the place. The man said, oh, it's health problems. I would like to keep it private, please. But they went through and checked anyway. There's no privacy. And he said, well, why can't I have some privacy? He said, well, if you want to write a complaint, go to the office. And his pants are a little bit bigger so he could fit the colostomy bag within it. And his pants kept falling down because now he didn't have the bag on him. And so he went to the office and explained, oh, I have health problems, but they gave me this pat down. And he's trying to explain, but they're acting like they just don't care. And they asked him, well, what's the bag for? So they took their hands and rubbed it down him completely flat to feel for anything. So when they got to the bag, it ripped off,